Well, this was quite the episode. It's had some questionable changes, but not nearly as many as the last few. So let's start off with the entrance to the underworld, which was in Procruste's place this time, and he's a son of Poseidon. Maybe that's why he went with water beds. So Percy and Annabeth trick him, they trap him in one of his own beds, and they go to the entrance to the underworld. And of course it says, "Do not enter" on it. And we get the first of several flashbacks, with Sally trying to get Percy into school, culminating in Percy resisting really, really hard, and him thinking that his mom just wants to get rid of him. Which seriously off-puts Sally, and she goes to get some air, and Poseidon shows up to console her, just trying to get her thoughts out of her. Sally wants Percy to go to camp and know who he really is, but she also doesn't want Percy dealing with the demands of the gods, so she sends him back to school, as I'm sure we all know at this point. And I like this. We see how much Sally sacrificed for her son, and possibly something that Percy feels guilty over. So the trio go to Charon, and we primarily see old people going on to his ferry. Nice touch. And despite having the drachmas, he doesn't take them like he did in the book. Instead, he sticks Cerberus on them, though Annabeth is still able to deal with Cerberus, and they use the flying shoes to scale over the wall so they can get into the underworld. And Annabeth is still able to get up on her own. Nice touch, showing that she's still very capable on her own. Though when they get to Asphodel, they had Annabeth bound by regret like the souls that are there. Another change, and it means that she has to leave the party at this moment. But like many changes in this adaptation, it doesn't change too much because they already dealt with Cerberus. Plus, it sets up that she has regret about something, but we don't know what yet. At this point, I'm guessing it has something to do with her time with Luke and Thalia. Also, Grover lost his pearl when he was eaten by Cerberus temporarily, and this takes it back down to 3 like in the book, meaning that one person isn't going to make it out. And this shows just how much Percy has matured. He doesn't even hesitate to give Grover one of his remaining pearls. So, then Grover almost gets dragged into Tartarus by the flying shoes, and they slip off because he only has hooves. Also, they're in a desert area in this scene, possibly to match up with Percy's dreams. And then they notice the bolt in Percy's backpack. Much earlier than they do in any other version of this story, as far as I'm aware. Though, once again, this doesn't change too much, aside from demonstrating how much Percy is willing to go through to get his mom back. And then they go to Hades, and aside from Hades being a bit more casual than what I was expecting, this scene is mostly the same as it was in the book. Hades has nothing to do with the bolt, and his helm was stolen, specifically so it could be used to steal the bolt. Hades also doesn't want a war with the gods, but he still tries tempting Percy, who has also realized at this point that Ares is the one who gave him his bag last, and was therefore the last person in possession of the bolt. And also this is when Percy suspects that Kronos is involved. Despite the temptations, Percy and Grover leave via the pearls, and they meet up with Ares on the beach. And in the preview for the next episode, we see some events out of order, specifically Percy going to Olympus, the build-up to the fight with Ares, and the post-quest celebration, with Chiron voicing over saying that Percy now has great responsibilities. Final thoughts. This episode, having a lot more important structured plot beats from the book, was more faithful as I expected, though not quite as much as I predicted. But enough so that it still makes the show work as an adaptation, rather than a reimagining. They hit in the important character moments and plot beats. I especially like the conversation with Hades, how the episode as a whole shows how much Percy has matured, how it shows his determination to save his mom, but also his devotion to his friends, and how much the whole thing hypes up the season finale. The flashbacks with Percy and Sally, I think, were made to do what a book can do with a few paragraphs, and that is, establish Percy's relationship with his mom amidst all the trouble they've dealt with, and it works, even on top of what we already saw between the two of them in the first episode. And I am hyped as can be for next week. I am Kieran Mythos, and I'll see you all when the quest is done.